And this story goes back like 7 or 8 years ago now. And it was probably a number around 380, 390,000. She goes, oh, it's about 380,000. I go, okay, well, you said that there's not really any data that backs up the validity of hypnosis. But what you just did was you just found well over 350,000 studies, research data, most of them published by psychological magazines or even major universities that are directly talking about hypnosis. And there's a pause in the conversation, and she goes, okay, let me get my wallet. Do you take American Express? Hypnosis helps people take back control of their lives. But here's the thing. Too many hypnotists struggle to get consistent results with their clients or grow their hypnosis businesses. I'm Jason Linett, and after more than 2 decades of building a thriving hypnosis practice, I created this podcast to help you do the same. Whether you're just starting your hypnosis journey or if you're ready to scale your business to the next level, you're exactly where you need to be. Welcome to Work Smart Hypnosis. What if you don't yet have testimonials as a hypnotist? Well, if that's the case, keep listening because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, and it's based upon the experience of what I've done and what I've coached many others to do in their practices. Hey there, it's Jason Linett, and this is the Make It Rain Monday edition of the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast, where I come on here and I share a brief episode to give you something actionable that you all could put into use as early as today. Now, you might be thinking, if I'm about to share something about what to do if you don't yet have testimonials, the mistake that some of you might make would be to go, oh, this is more of a startup episode. This one isn't for me. Well, I used to think that way, and also like you, I was wrong. I could probably phrase that in a much more positive way. No, but here's the thing. Keep listening, because even those of you that are thriving in your practices and already have active businesses, keep listening. Because the strategy I'm about to share with you is one that my personal opinion on this changed about 2 or 3 years ago, thanks to some market testing that I did in my business and also in the businesses of other hypnotists, even around the world. So before we get into this specific strategy of what to do if you don't yet have testimonials or also want to increase the quality of your presence online, there's a preview of where we're about to go. Let me walk you through what I would say would be the ideal scenario. And notice that I just said this would be the ideal scenario. And what I really mean to say there is don't listen to what I'm about to say and then think to yourself, well, Jason says I have to have this, and because I don't yet have that, I can't get started. No. This whole episode is about crushing that false belief. That being said, this would be the ideal scenario. On your website, promoting your hypnosis practice, for the different issues that you would work with people to address, you should have a specific page for those specific issues. Let's make this simple. I'll talk in the context of helping people with public speaking issues. So helping them to feel more confident in their public speaking, helping them to let go of fears related to public speaking. So you would have a page off of the main website specific to public speaking. And then in an ideal scenario, you would then also have client testimonials speaking directly to that one issue on that one page. And then also, the testimonials should be framed in such a way that it spotlights the internal story, the problems that those potential clients would be facing. Now, I just opened up a whole other can of worms by saying that here. And later on, I'll do another podcast episode, perhaps even one of these Make It Rain Monday episodes, specific to how most of you do have testimonials, but they're not yet serving your business in the way that's beneficial. Yes, it's nice when they say that your office was comfortable and the chair was nice. Yes, it's great when they say that it was convenient that you can meet with them on Zoom. That's not necessarily going to be the thing that pushes the final domino over and lets the potential clients, the leads that are out there, then go, I got to book with this person. So more on that later. But again, ideal scenario, you would have a page specific to the issue, and also on there, you would have specific testimonials around that issue, ideally. However, some of you might not yet have that. And what do you do if you don't have that? And what do you do if you don't yet have any testimonials because you're brand new at this? Well, yes, there's a couple of other strategies that could be put to use. Some people endorse the idea of doing practice sessions with other hypnotists and having them write some testimonials for you. I'm not against it. I'm not for that. It's just I'm kind of neutral to that idea because I firmly believe with the right strategies, you can get out there and start working with real people and start to do it in the appropriate way. Some people would, do free sessions with friends or family and get those testimonials. I'm slightly okay with that. And again, I'm relatively opinionated on this, but I say it based on a place of experience. Some people would fake them with AI. And here's a piece of advice on that. Don't. That was simple. And I say that because I recently, I'll tell the story briefly here. I had somebody who was trying to defend themselves, saying that, no, I wasn't doing fake AI videos with testimonials about me. I was doing fake AI testimonial videos speaking about hypnosis. But then I looked at this person's Instagram channel, and there were a bunch of videos saying, wow, I just had a session with this person, and they were fake. And what's the term? That person was a dirty, stinking liar and not good at it, and I tried to coach it. No, they're fine. And then I just had to go, you're going to be the next scandal in our industry, and I need to cut ties with you. I blocked them, and I just moved on. Hey, positivity, love, and light. So keep listening, though, because I'm going to tell you what to do instead. Because the other strategy, the whole one I'm about to talk to you about, is in part exactly what I did to get up and running. And it's also one that every single one of you could put into use today. And keep listening, because once again, the way that I used to talk about this has been updated. So even if you've heard me talk about this subject before, keep listening because there's an update with a really cool benefit that's going to serve you. Now, let me mention a free resource that I'm going to make available to everybody who wants it. This is session number 456. Don't yet have testimonials, do this. So the number 456. We do this with all of the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast episodes. Go to worksmarthypnosis.com/456. That will magically redirect you over to the page on the Work Smart Hypnosis website with the show notes, the various resources of this episode. And then on that page, I'm going to have a link, because when I work with people to help them create their websites to launch or relaunch their hypnosis practices, we actually have created a website page specifically around the tactic I'm about to share with you, which actually has a model of this exact strategy that you can then modify, update, and then make your own. And I'm going to make this website page template available to all of you for free. So just go to worksmarthypnosis.com/456. Look for the button on that page that says get the free web page template, and that'll be something that you can directly put into your business right away. So be sure, again, you listened all the way through, because even for those of you that already have established businesses, you want to put this method I'm about to share with you into use in your business right away. So let's dive in. This is session number 456. Don't yet have testimonials? Do this. What if you don't yet have testimonials? Well, here's what you're going to do instead. You're going to stand on the success of your profession. Once again, you're going to stand on the success of your profession. And here's how you're going to do it. And I'm going to walk you through this step by step. You're going to make use of clinical data. You're going to make use of research specifically around hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And then you're going to borrow the credibility of that to help you to position your services. Now, listen carefully here, because no, you're not going to be the person claiming that you did the research. You're not going to be the person who is pretending that you were a part of that study. No, back to the guy who I had to block online for faking AI testimonials and lying about it. Don't, because your pants will be on fire. Instead, you're going to use that level of credibility and research because, in my experience in testing, what that actually does for you is it satisfies the similar brain chemistry in the mind of your audience. And again, earlier I did say, in an ideal scenario, you would have your own testimonials, and this will help you to eventually get there. So listen to this here because I'm about to walk you through it step by step, and I'm purposefully just giving you the audio version of this here because I don't want you to get caught up in the tech of it because it's actually quite simple, though again, I've produced a website template page that you could make use of right away, and I'm giving that away for free, everybody, by going to worksmarthypnosis.com/456. So I'm going to go to my web browser right now on my computer. Any browser is fine. And I'm going to load not google.com. No. I'm going to go to scholar.google.com. I'll spell it out just in case. And the links to everything I'm saying are going to be in the show notes also at worksmarthypnosis.com/456. SCHOLAR. So scholar.google.com. That brings up a portal that is absolutely free that then gives you a search function identical to Google because, well, Google made this. And let me give you some tips on how to go about doing this. Well, actually, no, before we even get into the tips of this, I'm going to go to scholar.google.com and I'm typing just the word hypnosis and doing a search. Now, quick anecdote to set the stage for this. There was a time that someone called me up and she was curious about taking the Work Smart Hypnosis live and online training that I do, which we have another one coming up soon. Check it out over at live.worksmarthypnosis.com. So we're having this conversation about hypnosis, and all she has to say is, well, I really am interested in this. However, my concern is that there's not really any clinical data to back it up and prove it's actually valid. I go, what was that? She goes, well, there's not any real clinical data about hypnosis. And I go, oh, okay. Hey, do you have like 3 minutes? She goes, yeah, why? I go, are you near a computer? She goes, yeah, I'm sitting in front of it now. I go, cool. Load up this website, scholar.google.com. Do you see how it now looks like a Google search? Yeah, because it's made by Google. Type in the word hypnosis and just hit enter. Now, so you know, I just did that over here on my side, and it says in the top left of the screen about 412,000 results. And I'd asked her, look in the top left, it says about, and then a number, results. What number does it say? And this story goes back like 7 or 8 years ago now. And it was probably a number around 380, 390,000. She goes, oh, it's about 380,000. I go, okay. Well, you said that there's not really any data that backs up the validity of hypnosis. But what you just did was you just found well over 350,000 studies, research data, most of them published by psychological magazines or even major universities that are directly talking about hypnosis. And there's a pause in the conversation, and she goes, okay, let me get my wallet. Do you take American Express? I'm ready to sign up. So some people just don't know that these resources are there. Now, just out of curiosity, I'm going to replace the word hypnosis with hypnotherapy. And oh, does that further bang a drum that I've been banging for a number of years now? With the word hypnotherapy, the number went from well over 400,000 results to then now 65,200. Now, that might sound like a much lower number, but then again, 65,000 studies directly talking about hypnotherapy, that ain't bad. So let's make use of that here too. Though, let's get more specific. I'm now going to go into the search function, and here is the best way to go about doing your searches. And sometimes you're going to have to play with this and experiment, and sometimes you'll have to do the word hypnosis, sometimes you'll have to try the word hypnotherapy. It's a bit of a guess and test, the same way that, for anything else you're trying to do, sometimes it's a game of finessing how it is you go about, what you type into the search function. So out of curiosity, I'm going to type in the word hypnosis and in this case, the example I set up earlier, public speaking. As soon as I did hypnosis and public speaking, now I have a total number of searches that result in 15,000, which again, let's not be too cynical here. 15,000 is still a pretty good number. It's not 400,000 plus, but still, we've got something here. The first search result that shows up here is one that is called Effectiveness of a Cognitive Behavioral Hypnotherapy for Public Speaking Anxiety. Let me click this one here. And you're going to find a different sort of range of quality in terms of the search results. Now, this first one that popped up as an example says it was published in 1993, and some of them, oh, this one's interesting. Okay, no, yeah, this is an example of this. This loaded a website which is called ProQuest.com. And what their business is a quick example, is that this is actually an entire book. And this preview on ProQuest.com gave me the first 16 pages, but did not give me the entire study. And just for what it's worth, the reason why they do that is this platform called ProQuest wants you to then pay for the entire study. The question usually will pop up here to go, should I do that? And my official answer is, you could. And I'm now looking both ways in a cautious way to now tell you I never have. And here's the reason why. In many cases, if there ever was a study that I actually wanted to find, it would mention who wrote it. And then I've done a little bit more Google searching to go, hey, here's the person who wrote it. And I reached out to them directly and said, hey, I'd love to read this. Where can I find it online? And so far, all of them, I hate this next sentence. So far, all of them who were still alive responded to me and went, oh, here it is. Because I'm not going to mention the name of this website again, because the different places on the web that then dispense these studies, they don't always, as part of their licensing agreement, pay out the others. I just talked a whole lot, by the way, about how to get the entire study. Let me now officially tell you, for the way that I'm talking about it here, using it for a credibility boost on your own hypnosis website, I have never done that for this context. If it was ever instead for, hey, what techniques were they using? What methodologies? What strategies? What was their protocol? Then that's when I was reaching out and getting the full study. Let me back out of this search, though, because here is another study. Here we go. One from 2017. And listen, by the way, to the context of what I'm doing, because the individual content, where if you're going, I need the specific study that Jason found. No, you don't. Follow the steps that I'm talking you through. And here's one. This was called Self-Hypnosis Training to Improve Self-Confidence in Students for Speaking in Public. This was published in 2017. And then there's an abstract that talks about the results. And I'll briefly read it here. The purpose of this study is to determine the effects of giving self-hypnosis training to improve confidence in public speaking to students at a psychology faculty at a specific university. I'll skim through the rest here. Let's see. Collection of data uses a public speaking confidence scale measurement tool consisting of 23 items. And then let's see. The results show an increase in self-confidence of public speaking between pre-test and post-intervention. This proves self-hypnosis training can be used to increase self-confidence of students in university when public speaking. Here's a shorter synopsis of that. Hypnosis works to help people improve their confidence in public speaking. Now, slightly more advanced strategy here. I'm going to copy on my screen the entire abstract. And then now I'm going over to whatever your favorite AI engine tool would be, whether it's any of them. And I'm saying this cautiously because this is a week where a lot of people are upset with ChatGPT. So right now I'm over in Claude. I'm in a different one, or Gemini, or any of them. And here's what I'm going to type into ChatGPT, or whatever system it is. I said ChatGPT, I'm in Claude right now. Please review this copied abstract of a study and summarize it in 2 to 3 sentences that point to the results and prove the effectiveness of hypnosis. And by the way, the show notes, worksmarthypnosis.com/456. That on that page, I'll also have this exact sentence. Please review this copied abstract of a study and summarize it in 2 to 3 sentences that point to the results and prove the effectiveness of hypnosis. Now I'm hitting paste and I'm putting in the whole abstract. And this one is still pretty detailed. I'm not going to read everything it just gave me, but I'm going to give it a simple prompt now to adjust it. Please rewrite that to be shorter sentences and get to the point of the results in a way that would be of interest to people wanting to release this problem. And I'll give you that sentence as well in the show notes. Here we go. A university study found that self-hypnosis training significantly increased students' confidence when speaking in public. After the training, participants showed measurable improvement compared to their pre-test scores. The results demonstrate that hypnosis can effectively help people increase confidence and feel more comfortable speaking in front of others. Do you hear what I just did there, by the way? Oh, here's an extra bonus. I read the AI summary out loud because I'll tell you right now, the way that that was written is not the way that I would write it. So then by reading it out loud, I hear those disconnects, and then I'm going to now rewrite this paraphrase of this abstract, and by doing so, put it more in my words. So those of you who are thinking, oh, I've heard that if I put AI content copied and pasted onto my website, it's going to hurt me. Yeah, it will. So don't. But you just heard the strategy. I read it out loud. And then when you get my page template, by the way, you're going to see how I take these sentences and I put them in bullet points, but then also I put it in my own words. So you just heard the entire strategy here. What did I do? I sourced out testimonials. I found one that I liked. I sourced out research, sorry. And by doing so then, I framed it with a headline. And in many cases, I just used the exact headline or title of the abstract. Then I post a bullet point summary of what it said. And yes, this is a place where I use AI to, help me to brainstorm the summary. But then again, I'm going to read it out loud, put it in my own words, and that's what I'm going to publish on my website. But then here's the kicker. Here's the important part. Give credit where it's due. I provide a link to the exact study that I found, which here it is. I'm right now on the page that I found for this specific study. This research thing around public speaking was on atlantis-press.com. You might find this one, you might find others. Again, you might have different issues you want to spotlight, but I'm going to give credit where it's due and make sure I provide a link to the actual study. There you go. There's the strategy. And by the way, anytime on your website that you are linking to another website that's not your own, make sure that link opens to a new tab, a new window, so it doesn't replace your website in the browser. Very, very important there. So what are you going to do here? Let's now summarize the entire thing. I did a search on scholar.google.com. I used the search function of either hypnosis and thing or hypnotherapy and thing. Then I looked at the results. I skimmed a few of them. I found a few that I liked. And traditionally, I would say maybe 3 or 4 of them would be ideal. And here's the kicker. The template you're going to get from me by going to worksmarthypnosis.com/456, this is to create a page exclusively for research. Why not? Put that somewhere on your website. Google loves when you are linking to quality websites and not just keeping people on yours. You heard my strategy, though, of make sure it opens to a new tab, to a new window. That way, when they close it, your website is still open. So then, for the template that I've given you, it's a research page. And by the way, the content on that template, that's mine. So make sure you change it and make it your own. Do that. Otherwise, the people who haven't taken my advice, you're going to have a page just like a bunch of other people's, and you don't want that. That's going to hurt you. So modify it, replace it with the stuff that's important for your specific audience. And yes, some of you are already getting ahead of me here. You could do this on the various pages for the issues that you serve. Yeah, absolutely. Because once again, this is where you are standing on the success of your profession. You are using that shared collective credibility. And as I've already told you, search engines love this. Search engines love this. So here is the official update. What I used to say to people was stand on the success of your industry. And then over time, as you're now out there seeing clients and getting your own testimonials, getting your own feedback, I used to say over time, replace the research with your testimonials. And now my opinion has officially changed. Here's the outcome. You might have already guessed it. Do them both for one very simple reason. Why the hell not? Really, seriously. You've got your testimonials, which are proving the validity of you. You've got the research, which is proving the validity of your profession. And one of them is boosting your credibility. One of them is also boosting the modality's credibility. And on top of it, it's not a major, but it's a good enough search engine benefit to then be linking to quality websites other than your own. Just again, make sure you make those links open to a new tab. Just to expand upon that real quick, when you're keeping people within the ecosystem of your website, those are links that just, they're going from your homepage to your book a call page. That can be just standard linking. But like if you have active social media and then you're linking from your website, let's say over to your YouTube channel, you want that to open to a new window. And this is the kind of thing that we just build natively into people's businesses when we're helping them to either launch or even relaunch their hypnosis websites. And details about that, we'll just put that in the same place. The show notes over at worksmarthypnosis.com/456, which a quick thing, by the way, on the template that I'm going to give you for free. Yes, that template is built for a specific website building platform, which if that's the one that you use, job's easy for you. It just sticks in there, modify it, make it your own. If it's not the one that you use, no worries. It also gives you a 14-day free trial, and they know that I say this, and they're okay with it. Do the 14-day free trial, and then open up the template, modify it, model it, and then rebuild it elsewhere if you choose to, or if you get in there and you see, oh, damn, this is a lot easier than what I'm already doing for my stuff, I'm going to switch over. Well, that's why it's the one that we use ourselves. So this episode was titled, Don't Yet Have Testimonials? Do This. But I think we should retitle the episode, Hey, Everybody Who's a Hypnotist, Do This. Thank you for listening to the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast with Jason Linett. The more we're all successful, the more we're all successful. I've made that statement for years. It's why I do this show. And here is one thing that you can do today to help do your part. Go to worksmarthypnosis.com/podcast. Go there and make sure you're subscribed on your favorite podcast platform. And if you've enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd leave a review. Your feedback helps other hypnosis professionals find the show. Subscribe and share your thoughts today at worksmarthypnosis.com/podcast.